So shalom, everybody. Welcome. This is Haftarah Pinchas. It's 1 Kings 1846 to 1921. And it's been a couple of weeks, so sorry for missing those 2 weeks. Welcome back to everybody. And I just started last week a new course, level Aleph course. It might not be too late if anyone wants to still join that. And if so, then go to my website and go to courses. In this lesson, if anyone wants to draw on the screen, select annotate. And if you want to raise your hand, and I'll call on you either to read or for some other reason, click on raise hand. And with that, let's get right into it. And who would like to begin reading? Cheryl, was that a hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Anyone who wants to read, please don't be shy.
Um, ויד אדוני הייתה אל אליהו, ישנש,
Vais,
ישנס,
Vaishanes.
וישנס. וישנס מותניו, וירוץ לפני אחאב, עד בואכה Yisrael. It's the directional.
That's right, Yisrael. Very good. This is not Israel. It is Yisrael. It's a different word. What is the meaning of Israel? Yisrael.
The
Prince.
meaning?
Yeah, what's the meaning of the name Israel, Yisrael in Hebrew? It's two parts.
He wrestles with God?
Right. He contends with God, or he strives with God. Very good. What is this one? Let's lop off the directional hey. What's the meaning of Yisrael? Also
Will
two parts.
sow.
Uh-huh.
God will sow.
Yeah, God will sow seed.
Uh,
Exactly. In English, they sound very similar, but in Hebrew, they are completely different meanings. Very good. Okay, let me read through one time, even though you did a good job. V'yad Adonai hayta el Eliyahu, vayshanes motnav, vayarotz lifnei achav, ad boacha Yisrael. And
yeah, it should have been Vayarots instead of Vayarot. Because is that Kmatz Katan under the Resh
under
there?
the resh, absolutely. So here's your stress by ya, and therefore this is unstressed closed syllable, kamatz katan vayarotz. Why is it there? Because the root is rutz. We need that vav to be, we need something to remind us of that vav, and that kamatz katan is reminding us of the root letter vav.
Hmm.
That's right. And whenever you see two cantillation marks, just remember that a cantillation mark will always be at the beginning of a syllable. This one is not, so ignore it. This one is, so follow it. And this one is at the end of the word. That is not a cantillation mark. So where's the stress? I don't know. The scribes really didn't care about where it went. Usually it should be haita, but they simply didn't put a stress mark here on this word. So we'll just have to assume that it's haita because it is most everywhere else. See, there are times when the scribes care more about how you cant or chant the text than where to put the stress on the word.
Yeah, I wondered about that with Mechon Mamre, the guy, that when there isn't a cancellation mark, he usually puts the stress on the last syllable.
Right. Well, that's true anyway. If you didn't have any cancellation marks, about 80% of the words would have final stress.
Mhm.
A safe bet, but it doesn't hold true 100% of the time? No. No.
Mhm.
Occasionally there will be a penultimate word with no cancellation mark. How do we know where to put it? We simply look at the other places in the Bible that do have
Mhm.
a stress marker.
Okay.
So it's quite frustrating that it's not a consistent system, but it's better than the alternative, which is nothing.
Yeah.
Yad Adonai. Yad is masculine or feminine?
Yad is a feminine word.
Yeah, body parts that come in pairs are feminine. You have two hands, or most people have two hands, it's feminine, and that's why the verb is feminine, 3FS, because she, the hand, is the
Mhm.
subject. The hand of the Lord was El, on, above, onto, Eliyahu. What's the meaning of Eliyahu?
Um, my God is Yah.
Yeah, my God is Yod He Vav. Well, where's the final hey? Well, we don't have Mater Lectionis letters yet in Eliyahu's time, so it's just Eliyahu. Maybe it was spelled, maybe it was pronounced a little bit differently. Maybe it was Eliyahu.
Mm,
Who knows? But as it's preserved by the Masoretes, it's Eliyahu. We don't get to see that final hey because it's a mater. And the hand of the Lord was on Elijah. Vaishanis. What
yeah.
is this word? I don't know. It probably shows up one time in the Bible, right? But we can learn a lot about its form. We see
Okay.
Vav Patach, missing the gesh because of the Skinam Levi with the Shva, so that means it's a Vayiktol.
Yeah.
The Yod tells us that it's
3MS.
3ms. The Patach, well, the Shva Patach Dagesh tells us the Binyan.
Uh-huh. It's a PL.
It's a PL, that's right, a Vayiktol PL, and the root appears to be Shin Nun Samech.
So Lishanesh. Lishanes would be
Lishanes would be the
the
infinitive form.
infinitive.
And
Yeah.
if we wanted to, we could go and look that word up and see if it shows up in a dictionary somewhere to give us a little bit more lishanes. Where is it? Israel. Am I looking right at it? Yeah,
Mhm.
well, it should be here, right? El
Uh,
Eliyahu.
go back a couple
Oh,
verses to
that's
the
right. We
yes,
started
to
at verse
18, the
18.
last verse, I think.
Here it is, lishanes. It's translated as girded up, and lishanes. It shows up one time in the whole Bible. Go. It's a hapax legomenon. And
Hapax legomenon.
yeah, it's a
Okay.
fun word to say. So a primitive root to compress, that is to gird up. So he put on his belt,
Hmm.
girded up. Wow. Wow. Okay, so it shows up one time in the Bible. He girded up. What did he gird up? His motnav, his moten. Moten, that's a kotel word. Like Kodesh. Motnav are his hips or loins or something like that. Vayarotz, this is like I said, this is from the root roots to run, and he ran, Vayiktol, lifnei achav, before the face of or in front of Achav. Ooh, what is the meaning of Achav's name?
My brother's my father?
Yeah. Uh,
That's weird.
so some people will argue that Av is a theophoric particle referring to God. So brother God puts you at the same level as God. So this is deifying a king potentially. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, it looks like it's literally brother father.
Mm.
Ad boacha Yisrael. Now this is really cool. Bo means to come. Cha means
You.
yours. Exactly. Your coming. Your, to whom is it speaking?
Um,
You, the reader. Hey, you, I'm talking to you. When someone gives you directions, they say, all right, you know where the Kroger is on the corner? You're going to come to that Kroger and you're going to turn right. You. Apparently, that's what this is. Someone saying this location where he's going. It's like you're going to. Yisrael, at the entrance to Yisrael.
It's sort of like a generic U. It's not a specific U. It's
Oh, sure, yeah. It's
in
an
English.
impersonal you, the reader. When you come to, you travel around Israel, you have come to Jezreel before. So as you enter into Jezreel, that's where it was. Wow, boy, talk about putting yourself in the shoes of the people of the Bible.
Mhm.
That's about as close as you get right there. Um, all right, next verse. Who would like to read the next verse?
I'll read it.
Go ahead, please.
Vayagid av le'izevel et kol asher asa Eliyahu ve'et kol asher harag et kol haneviim beharev.
Excellent reading. This right here is difficult to see. It's actually a tsere instead of a chirik because
Oh,
it's been apocryphated in the Vayikol form. So instead of Vayagid, what is it?
Vayagid
Vayaged Achav le'izevel et kol asher asa Eliyahu ve'et kol asher harag et kol haneviim becharev. He tattled on Eliyahu. Who's the most wretched woman in the Bible?
Izevit.
Jezebel. Jezebel is. Her name is a little difficult to parse out. It's possibly in Izebel is like a where, and then Zevel is like a prince or royalty or something like that. So it's like, where is the prince is her name. There's uh this is Zevel is apparently the same root that we see in Zebulun, Zvulun, one of the 12 tribes. Um, and where it I have to include this because of Arabic influence. Hebrew now has another word or has another denotation for the word Zevin. It's trash.
Modern Hebrew?
Modern Hebrew, it's trash.
Garbage. It's garbage.
In Arabic, Zevel is a dunghill.
Mhm.
Now, the reason is because there are two letters Zayin. One of them is the Z sound, and the other is the V sound. So apparently, Vevel is the trash or the dung heap, and Zevel has to do with prince. But it's kind of funny because ultimately they both
Hi.
fall down into one and the same letter. So now her name in modern Hebrew could be "Where's the trash?" Which is kind of funny for the most wicked woman in the Bible, but I digress. It's
Well, no, but it applies to her.
well, if the shoe fits, you know. And so anyway, we have Ahab who told to Jezebel. What did he tell? Et answers the question, direct object marker. Dum 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 dum. Kol. He told everything. What everything? Well, Asher tells us more information about the Kol. Asher asa Eliyahu, which he did, that is, Elijah did. He told her everything Elijah did. Ve'et, oh, there's more. There's not just this one, there's also more that he told. What else did he tell? Ve'et kol, and he told all. Asher harag, that he killed. Et kol hanevi'im, all of the prophets. How? Becharev, with the sword. Woo! Is she happy about this news? Not at all. And let's see. Ve'et kol asher harag et okay, do you guys remember the story about how Elijah killed all of the prophets of Baal?
Mhm.
It was a showdown, right?
Yeah.
You guys try and call down fire from Baal, and I'll try and call down fire from Yod He Vav He, and we'll see who wins. And they tried and tried and tried, and Elijah just mocked them. Is he asleep? Is he on vacation? Maybe if you cut yourselves, he'll listen to you. In the end, he slew all of the prophets with the sword because they were false prophets. And he called to the people of Israel to choose now which one you're going to follow. Don't stop jumping back and forth between two ideas. Choose whom you're going to serve. So he killed all these false prophets. Becharev. What is be?
With
By,
preposition.
with, or in.
That's in.
Okay, within the. Okay, this is the part I was looking for. The definite article is built into it. Otherwise, it would be b.
Hmm.
Wait, shouldn't it be ba like this? Yeah, sure, but chet's not going to take this, and it's going to prefer a segol instead. Becharev. So this means with or in the, and then charev. Well, that's not the usual way that we expect to see this word. We expect it to be cherev. Cherev. So what happened with this vowel right here?
It's puzzle.
It's pausal. At the end of a sentence, at the end of a phrase, words will become pausal in order to let the audience know we've reached the end of a sentence, the end of a logical unit. So charev isn't just cherev, it's cherev plus, hey, we reached the end of the sentence. Why? Can't everyone just look down in their Bibles and see that no, each person didn't have their own Bible until long after the printing press was invented. So for most of human history, they're listening to one person read from the scriptures. So these are audible cues to know how far we've gotten through the verse. Causal forms. Not to mention the original form of cherev is charb. So this ah vowel is likely the vowel that's lengthened in pausal form to this, harev. But I digress. And how do we know charb is the original form of the verb? Because when you put a pronominal suffix on it, it becomes charbo, his cherev. But where did all the segols go? Those are artificial. They were invented along the way. They're not original. This is your original word, charb, which turned into cherev. But when you add a pronominal suffix, it comes back. Charbo. Fun stuff. All right. Who's going to be the next reader?
Annie, you're up.
Annie, do you want to read?
Yeah.
Okay, please go ahead.
ותשלח איזבל מלאך אל אליהו לאמור כה יעשון אלוהים וכה יוסיפון כי כעת מחר אשים את נפשך כנפש אחת מהם.
Ooh, she is not happy at all. Excellent reading, Amy. Vatishlach Izevel malach. She sent, that is, Jezebel did, a messenger, an angel, no, a messenger. El Eliyahu, to Elijah, Lemol, saying, Ko Ya'asun Elohim, thus or so he will, or Ya'asun. Oh, that's plural, isn't it? Yod at the front, U at the end. So she said, let the gods, Elohim, plural, do V'cho Yosifun, and may they add and do more, He, if, whether, cha'et mahal, about the time of tomorrow, asim et nafshecha, I will put your nefesh, your life, kenefesh achad mehem, as the life of one of them. Well, they are all dead. So what is she saying? She's giving him a personal life threat. You guys heard earlier how I was talking about original vowels and harb and all that. Well, look, nefesh is the artificial form. Nafsh is the original form. See, I'm not making this stuff up. When you add a pronominal suffix, you add it onto the original form of the word, nafsh. When it has nothing, then it becomes nefesh. Those are artificial segolds. Okay,
So
vatish.
how do we say? I got the Elohim, the word for do.
This is ya'asun. Ya'asun. It has a paragogic or I don't know if we can call it paragogic noon or if we can call it a relic from Proto-Semitic from the Proto-Semitic paradigm. But the point is, this noon does not stay in biblical Hebrew very long. It gets lost. This one too, but it does continue to appear in Aramaic. So there's this possibility that there was an original noon, and Hebrew, being having lazy speakers, just stopped pronouncing the noon.
And that's yes. So yeah, Yosefin.
Yosifun.
So she just called upon herself for Elohim to do more for her, basically for her to eventually be trampled down and disappear
Yeah, well, this
by
is
dog. But she called it,
sure.
right?
This right here, starting from ko all the way to pretty much ki, is a formula. This is a formula that shows up all throughout the Bible when people want to make an oath or swear something. Oh, may the Lord do to me, and may he add to it if such and such thing doesn't happen. Remember, Ruth says it to Naomi. Naomi said, "Go home, my daughter." She said, "The Lord do to me, and may he add if I do not stick with you until you die." Okay, this is a formula that shows up over and over again in the Bible. So this is her swearing up and down, "I swear this is going to happen, that this time tomorrow I will make your life like the life of one of them." Asim, that's a yiktol verb. The aleph says I, one CS. What's the root? What's the binyan?
It's sum is the root.
Very good. It's either sim or sum. Probably originally sum, which turned into sim. Very good. And here it's in the kal binyan.
Kal yekto.
Kal yiktol. Very good. I will make or put or place nafshecha, your nefesh, as or like the nefesh of one of them. All right, I think that's pretty good. Who wants to read the next verse? Any questions, comments? That's okay. We can have repeat readers.
Okay, I'll
Go
go
ahead,
again.
Cheryl. Uh-huh.
Was there somebody else that just asked?
No, not
It's
that
me? Okay. וירא ויקום וילך אל נפשו ויבוא באר שבע אשר ליהודה וינח את נערו שם.
Excellent. Only reading nitpick that I would have is this right here. The chirik yod is now a vowel.
ליהודה.
Lihuda. Lihuda. I know we want to say Yehuda, but that would be akin to shva shva.
Yeah.
So Hebrew fixes it by turning this into a chirik. We get li huda. Vayar, we have a root letter missing.
Yud.
Yeah, a final yod. Most people know this is resh aleph hey, but it's actually the root is resh aleph yod to see. Vayar, and he, 3ms, saw. What did he? Who saw? I guess he saw the threat. Elijah saw the threat. Vayakum, and he kum.
Kum.
We know this u and kamatz katan are related. Remember,
Mm.
o and u vowels are historically related. So if you see a short o, wonder where it came from a missing root letter. Vayakum, and he arose. Vayelech. Oh, we have a missing root letter here.
Hey.
Right. The root is halach, which Hebrew somehow messes up into yalach. And this is the root that we see in hifil, hufal, no, not in hitpael. But apparently the original root is halach, and Hebrew somehow turns it into yalach, and whatever. It's
Lehitalech. They use the
it
hey.
uses the hey
Lehitalech.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if there's a PL. Leyalech. I don't think so. You. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Ya hali lech. No, I can't remember. Okay. Here's another nafsh, the original form of nefesh. Vayavo, and he bo. We've got a missing vav, and he came. Where? Be'er Sheva. What is a be'er?
So wow.
Huh? And what is Sheva?
It's either 7 or like an oath.
7 or oath. And the story is that Abram made an oath by these 7 ewe lambs. So 7 and oath are both intentional. The well of 7 or well of oath. Asher Lihuda. Which Beersheba? The one that is
In Judah.
in Judah. Apparently there was more than one. Vayanach et Naaro Sham. And he, what's the root?
Lehaniach is the Hanach? No. Oh, it would be Niach? Heniach? No, hey, the hay is
Hey, is he feel?
Hefil, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Nich or Nuch?
Nuch. Nuch. We know this as Noah
Nuach. Nuch.
or La Nuach.
Uh,
Right? Noach is a guy's name who
yeah.
built an ark, and Nuach is the call verb to rest. So what's this one? Vayanach. It may be tough to see, but it's Hifil.
Yeah, I was going to say because
Yeah. See,
because the infinitive is lehaniach, which would be Hefil. So
yeah, very good. So the idea, the verb of resting is something that you can do, but you can't do it to somebody. It's intransitive. So if we have vayanach et, well, that's a direct object marker. He's doing this action to somebody. Well, it's not a call. Can't be. It has to be something else. That patach is telling us that it is he feels. He is causing to rest, or that he is placing or leaving et na'aro, his servant. Oh, look, there's another katal form. Now. Now. That's hard to say, isn't it? So Hebrew turned it into na'av. That's easier to say. But it was originally now.
so when they say na'aron, they translate it servant. Do they mean the young man? Because they're
His,
young man.
his young attendant.
Okay.
Right. So young men are notorious in the ancient Near East are notoriously known for their their zeal, their energy, their helpfulness. So yeah, Na'al isn't just young man. It can also be a servant. Same thing in again, the story of Ruth. Remember when the foreman asked his Na'al, he said, who is that girl over there? So we get to see Na'al showing up all over the place. So he left his Na'al Sham, there, wherever there is. What, with Jezebel? Hopefully he took cover. Okay, questions?
Yeah, I was the Bathsheba. How come it has the N underneath the bear as the translation? Is it because
Oh, no.
that's there?
Well, yeah, I mean, the translation is imperfect here. So the word in is actually not literally in the text. We don't have a preposition. And he came, Beersheba. But in order for it to make sense in English, we have to supply a preposition. So that's what they're doing here. This is supposed to be gray, italicized, whatever. But the Beersheba is over here instead of having Beer right there. But the problem is they don't literally translate it. What is a Be'er? What is a Sheva? Oh, I don't know. Let's just call it Be'er Sheva.
Well, that's the just knowing that that's where Abraham named that well.
Oh, yeah, there's rich history if we would just simply look it up in the Bible. Sure. And the reader is supposed to know that. He's not supposed to just read Beersheba. He's supposed to read, oh, yeah, that's where Abram and
A
uh,
lot of things happen.
Avi, Avimelech, right? Avimelech, was that who it was? He made a covenant between him and Avi. It wasn't Fico.
King of Gerar.
It
Oh,
was King of Gerar.
yeah.
He was the king of dragging. Gerar.
Is that what that is? Gerar is
Gerar is to
a
drag. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not sure what the connection is. All right. Any other questions? Shall we move on to the next verse?
Mhm.
All right. Who would like to read?
I'll read.
Please go ahead.
והוא הלך במדבר דרך יום, ויבוא וישב תחת רותם אחד, וישאל את נפשו למות, ויאמר רב, אתה אדוני קח נפשי, כי לא טוב אנוכי מאבותי.
Yeah. Excellent reading. Thank you. And you might have noticed there are two words here that are very similar. This is a matter of kativ kre, or kri or kre, or kre is how I pronounce it, whatever. The idea is what is written versus how the scribes want us to read it. And so it's written as achat, rotem achat. Is rotem feminine? Apparently not, because later on we're going to see that same rotem called echad. Well, which one is it, Mr. Biblical Writer? Is it this one or that one? So the scribe rushes in to fix the problem, says, oh, don't read it as this, read it as that instead. You'll see why in a minute. Somebody made a mistake here and we're rushing in to fix it. Vehu, Elijah, halach bamidbar derech yom. He went into the wilderness, a journey of a day. Vayavo, and he came, arrived. Vayeshev, and he sat down. Tachat rotem echad, underneath a rotem plant. Maybe it's a juniper tree, I don't know. Vayishal, and he asked, he requested, et nafsho. He asked for his life, lamut, to die. Vayomer, and he said, Rav ata, enough now, Adonai, O Lord. Kach nafshi, take my life, take my soul, take my being. Ki lo tov anochi, for not am I good, me avotai, from or compared to my fathers. I'm no good compared to my fathers, just take me now. He's depressed. Jezebel got him all depressed. I'm going to make you like those Baal priests. Oh, I want to die. So he ran to the desert. Any questions on this?
Why?
Why?
He wanted to die. Why didn't he just stay there? I'm trying to understand Elijah for the moment.
Apparently he didn't want to die until he got there. I don't know.
Didn't the angel come soon and help him?
Oh,
And
yeah, we're about to read it.
yeah, okay. Because when you're physically down, you want to die sometimes,
That's
right?
right. That's right. Your mental state has a lot to do with your physical state, doesn't it?
But hang on, just a second.
Yeah,
Elijah made a declaration
there
that
you
it
go.
wasn't going to rain until he prayed.
Yeah,
That is a big statement for somebody to make at any point, that he has power over the rain. And somehow he's maybe feeling on the point that he's done something, and heavens above, God's got to come in and do something, because he's kind of feeling, oh dear me. Surely,
was it before or after this passage that he said no rain? Was it before?
I think
It
it's
was
before.
before because, oh yeah, I don't know.
I think you were sick and delirious at that time, Jared.
Oh, sure, I bet. So remember when Elijah runs past Ahab's chariot? I thought that happened right after the
That's
prayer
when
about the rain.
he come back.
but
Yes,
this
it
was a
did. Yeah,
But
hang on a second. Elijah burst in. I need to be. Oh, I'm unsure, but Elijah burst in with this statement. He burst in on the scene with this statement.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was a case God had a job for him, right enough. Yeah, it's open to debate, but it's a case that he felt depressed that he was the only one
17.
standing for
was
God.
It
well,
did.
that's
It
coming
did
up.
happen.
That's still coming up.
didn't know about the 7,000. I think it was right after he killed all those prophets.
Yeah, that's still
And
coming
he
up.
told Ahab that rain was coming, and they started to run, and they outran the rain, and Elijah outran Ahab.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So the rain happened first, then this, and then we'll see the 7,000 that didn't bend the knee to Baal. It's in this parasha if we get all the way through it. Okay. Next verse, next reader. Annie, do you want to read?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, please.
וישכב וישן תחת אוטם אחד,
Mhm.
והנה זה מלאך נוגע בו, ויאמר לו קום אכול.
Excellent reading. Vayishkav, Vayishan, Tachat Rotem Echad. So it's masculine here. It was feminine earlier, now it's masculine. Vehine ze malach nogea bo. Vayomer lo kum echol. All right, there are a couple of fun things to talk about here. Vayishkav, Vayishan. What forms are these?
Victor.
Vayiktol. But they don't have an O vowel, they have an A vowel.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Stative.
Very good. So we have two options, don't we? Either if there's a guttural, or if
Stative.
and this one does not have gutturals. So the other option, option two, is state of being verbs, or at least originally state of being verbs. So lying down is apparently a state of being. You're not actually doing anything, you're just lying there. Same with sleeping. I'm not doing anything, I'm just sleeping. I'm not doing any actions per se. I'm just in a state of sleep. So yeah, maybe they're originally state of being verbs. He lay down and slept tachat rotem echad. So there's that rotem juniper tree again, under a juniper tree, one of them. Vehine ze, and behold this what? Malach, a messenger, or if it's a messenger of God, we call it an angel. Nogea bo. What is nogea?
Mm-hmm.
Touch.
Touch.
Yeah, touch. Or whack. Okay, no, naga can mean either one in the Bible. So is this angel going, come on, buddy, time to wake up, wakey, wakey? Or is the angel going, thunk, get up? Okay, depending on which one you see in there, your translation will be significantly different. Compare various translations and you'll see the difference. So maybe the angel thud, touches him very hard. Vayomer, and he said, hey, you, kum, echol, rise up, eat. And Elijah's like, oh, okay. No, we don't know which one it is. Did he touch him and he woke up, or did he pound him and he woke up? Could be either one.
Probably the second.
Maybe. I mean, depend if he's that fast asleep, he's going to need more than just a little nudge. I don't know. I wasn't there. We'll ask him. We'll ask him on the other side of eternity. What forms are these two words?
Imperative.
Imperative. Do it. Imperative, which is always second person. And there's no suffix on it, so we know it's masculine singular. Hey, you, a man, Elijah. Dare I ask? Sure, I'll ask. What's the root of malach? Yeah,
Aleph, Kaf.
yeah, yeah, exactly. The mem and the vowels make it a makhal pattern. So the root is clearly lamed aleph kaf. Only one problem. This root doesn't exist.
Who's he?
It doesn't exist. La'ach does not exist. It's not an actual root. I mean, we could hypothesize that it exists, even though it exists nowhere except this one word, but it exists in no other language, in no other form in Hebrew. So the smart people say, I wonder if this is actually halach. These two have swapped places, and the the gutturals have swapped. Both of those phenomena happen all the time in Hebrew. So if this is a strange form of halach, then what is a malach? The one who is sent walking. Maybe it fits the bill, but it seems like kind of a stretch.
Was the hay swallowed up by the owl?
Yeah, well, there are lots of examples where hay turns into olive. Think of let me get this. No, that's a vav. La mole or la mule is to circumcise. So who is a mohel? The guy who does the circumcising. What? Vav turns into hay? Okay, let me think of an example where hay and olive swap. Oh, dude, there's a ton of them in Aramaic. Like bana in Hebrew is bana or something like that. The yods turn into hey in Hebrew and turn into aleph in Aramaic. So I don't know. I guess I don't have an excellent
Hmm.
I don't have an
Mm.
excellent example right now. I'm so sorry.
Well, that's not
Jared,
good enough because of the Aramaic influence back in Babylon.
Uh-huh. Someone else had a question?
yeah, what's the root of worker?
Are you referring to an Eved or Oved?
I don't remember. I know we've talked about this before, and I can't remember the word that you said.
So look, there is this word mal'acha, which is your vocation. Mal'acha, and it appears to come from the same root as mal'ach. Mal'acha. So a mal'ach is sent on a mission, and your mal'acha is your mission in life. It's your vocation. In fact, when the Bible says you shall not do any work on Sabbath, it does use the word mal'acha, and the rabbis jump on this and say, well, mal'acha is what's done in order to build the tabernacle. So what are all the various mal'achot involved in building the tabernacle? Because those are what are going to be prohibited on Shabbat. Is it this route where you're trying to find a mal'ach, a worker? I don't know. Usually a
Well,
worker is an
that word mission that you used would really fit with messenger.
well,
Like you're
yeah,
on a mission. It would be good.
exactly. This is a person who's sent on a temporary mission by somebody greater than he, and a mal'acha is basically your life mission, your calling.
Mhm.
What are you going to do with your life? Well, I'm a plumber. I'm a mechanic. I'm a consultant. I'm a politician. You what? And what is your calling in life? Anyway, so the experts say that la'ach probably comes from halach, and I'm just parroting what they say. Sorry, I can't prove it. I think, what pattern is the word rotem?
Hotel.
Kotel, right. Take out the three root letters and stick in the arbitrary root letters kuf, tet, lamed. You take o-eh, and you get o-eh. Excellent. What other words fit the pattern kotel?
Kodesh.
Kodesh,
Moed.
mo. No, that's moed. That
Uh,
one, that one has a tsere, moed, instead of a segol. That one doesn't count. It would have to be like a moed, which doesn't exist. Um,
Hotel. Oh, we did that.
well, okay,
Thinking
so
of the hotel.
no. You're thinking of kotel, which is spelled with a kuf. I mean a kaf.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Kotel is a word that shows up once in Song of Songs, and it becomes the modern Hebrew word for the Wailing Wall, the kotel.
Yeah.
There's also the word godel. Um, uh, uh, um, oh,
Does it like bosom? That's a modern word, but like perfume.
bosem,
That. Uh-huh.
either with a samech or a sin, bosem. Very good. Um, what about this one? Yofi, yofi. Is that a kotel? Is there a pesky letter that got in the way and messed up the pattern? It is. This should have been Yofei, Yofei, but that turns into Yofi. So we'll find that the yod often messes up the pattern. Here's another pattern, the katel pattern that I was talking about earlier. Katel, which becomes ketel or katel, like this. Like ultimately becomes ketel, like melech and yeled. right? Or nefesh, it was originally nafsh. Okay, now how about this one? Put that one in. You get bayit. Wait, do we know a word like this? It becomes bayit. Wait, I'm expecting a segol, but a chirik shows up. Because yod messes up the pattern. Bayit. So it's also a ketel, but it doesn't look anything like a ketel because of that yod. How about am? Am is a katel pattern, but you don't get to see it because the root is ein mem mem, which is am, which turns into am. There are so many words that belong to patterns that you would never guess because they have some irregularity about them. Anyway, this has been a recent adventure of mine to try and find out where words come from, and it's probably driving me and you all mad. But I digress. Let's move on. Who wants to read?
Go again if it's my turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Nobody else is raising their hand. You go for it. You go, girl.
Vayabet v'hine merosh meroshtav
Mera'ashotav.
mera'ashotav ugat retzafim v'tzafchat v'tzafachat maim tzapachat maim vayochal v'yesht. There's that word. V'yesht v'yashav v'yishkav.
Vayashov. Vayashov.
Vayashov.
Yeah, it's a closed, unstressed syllable. So it's a kamatz katan. What's the root of Vayashov?
Ashuv.
Shuv. Very good. So that O sound reminds us of this. Suppose the root were yashav, to sit or dwell. What's the Vayiktol form of yashav?
Vayeshev.
Very good. Vayeshev. So consonantally, they look the same, but the vowels are completely different. Vayeshev. So this reminds us of the original yod of yashav, and this o vowel reminds us of the original vav of shuv. Very good. Excellent. What's the root of vayesht?
Shata.
Excellent. What happened to our third root letter?
Would it be shate, Imish?
Right. The katal form is shata, but the root is shin tav yod.
Okay.
The yod is a weak letter. It turns into mater lectionis, but then a vayiktol apocopates. It gets rid of all the mater letters. So instead of vayishte, you're left with vayesht. Oh, Hebrew, why do you do the things you do? You drive us mad. So, and he drank is vayesht. Vayochal, that has penultimate stress. Is that an apocopated form? Kind of, because it should be yochal, but apocopation includes moving the stress. So even though there are no vowel changes, no missing letters, no missing maters, it still has stress shift, so it's technically apocopated. Vayochal, vayesht, vayashov, vayishkav. What's the root of vayabet? Looks like there's a root letter missing.
Nabat.
Moon, beta.
Very good. This dagesh right here tells you something's missing. Always suspect nun. Nun bet tet has to do with sprouting, becoming visible. So, and he caused something to become visible. That is, he looked. Look, I don't make this stuff up. This is how it's defined in the Bible. We get to see the root navat, meaning plant sprouting. And we get to see vayabet in the hifil means he looked. What's the connection? We have to be creative and come up with an explanation. V'hinei mera'ashotav, what's the root?
That.
That.
Rosh.
Rosh. Good.
Rosh.
Rosh. Rosh. Rosh. Rish, Rosh, Rosh. Okay. I know that Rosh is a Ketel word. I just don't know whether it's Katel, Ketel, or Kotel, or Kutel. I don't know which one it is because this Aleph is all over the place. Rash, Rashi, Rosh, Rishon. I mean, the vowels all over the place. So we don't know which one it is. But it has to do with head, first, chief. So at his
No.
head was ugat. What is an uga?
Cake.
Kind of, yeah. Og, or the root ug, means round thing. Round thing. So whether it's a pita or a cake or it's a pancake or what it is, it's some sort of a round thing. Remember King of Og or the King Og of Bashan?
Hmm.
Evidently he was a round guy.
Yeah, very round.
Maybe, yeah. His name means round. But we get to see this og or ma'og show up all over the Bible. So an ugat is some sort of a round thing. And based on the context of eating and drinking, it must be an edible round thing. So we're going to call it a cake. And then later on in modern Hebrew, an uga is a cake. Uga, uga, uga. You know, there's
That.
yeah, exactly. And
Right.
then we have ritzah.
Hey,
But,
how do you say that?
What?
How do you say that again?
Uga.
Retzafim.
Oh, retzafim. Retzafim.
Retzafim.
Yeah. So apparently this is from the word retzef or ratzaf. I don't know. But it's either a katal noun or it's a ketel noun. The point is it's a noun. So why is it translated as baked on the coals? That sounds an awful lot like a passive participle to me.
Mhm.
So retzafim are red hot things, whether it's a red hot stone or a red hot coal. So we're looking at a round thing of hot coals. Well, how do we translate that into English? Well, we have to do a lot of thinking for the reader. Let's call it a cake that is cooked on coals. Vitzapachat, again, I think this is used just one time in the Bible and has to do with containing, so some sort of a cup, a cruse of water, mayim. I don't want to go down that rabbit trail. Okay. Vayochal, vayesht, and he ate and drank. Vayashov, vayishkav, and he again he returned and he lay down. Now this says and he laid him down. It's not transitive. So that's not right. This should just be and he lay down.
Mhm.
All right, who'd like to read? I haven't read yet. I'll read. Hang on. Vayashov malach Adonai shenit vayiga bo vayomer kum echol ki rav mimcha hadarech. All right, how do I know where the stress is? All I have is this cantillation mark that does not show up at the beginning of a syllable. I can't trust it. Well, we just read it a minute ago. It's a vayiktol. I only see two root letters, so I expect some kind of apocompation. That means the stress is probably here. Unstressed closed syllable, kamatz katan, shuv. And he again, and he returned. Who did? Malach Adonai, the angel or servant of the Lord, messenger of the Lord. Shenit. Sheni a second time. Sheni second. Shenit a second time, used adverbially. He came back a second time. Vayiga, oof, and he struck or touched Bo, him, Elijah. Vayomer, kum, echol. And he said, get up, eat. Gosh, deja vu. I feel like I was just here. He rav mimacha, for much or many or great for you compared to you. Hadarech is the journey, the way. The journey's too great for you. Get up and eat. All right, who wants to read?
I'll read.
Go ahead, William.
Vayekum, okal, shate, vayelek, beko ahach, haekai la, hahi, arbe, bayim,
Arba'im.
yom, bayim, yom, bayim, Layla, Yad, Har, Ha-Elohim, Horeb.
Very good. Excellent. And don't mind me, I'm not picking on you, I'm picking on people in general, okay? The letter ayin looks an awful lot like the letter Y. And a lot of English speakers will equate an ayin with the letter Y to their demise. Ayin is not a Y and has nothing to do with a Y. Ayin is a glottal fricative. Ayin, ayin. So anytime you see it, please, please, please try and avoid pronouncing it as a Y. This is not arbayim, but rather arbaim. But nobody can pronounce that anymore, so it simply becomes silent in modern Hebrew, which is too bad. Because now we have
I think that's where I was falling down there.
Ah, okay. The aleph and the ayin in modern pronunciation are both silent, unfortunately. But the way I teach it is they are not silent. They are not originally silent. And even in some dialects, they continue to not be silent. Only in modern pronunciation have they given up. So, arba'in yom, ba'arba'in laila, ad, not yad, ad, har Elohim chorev. All right, what do we have here? Vayakom, vayiktol of kum. Vayochal, vayiktol of achal, to eat. Vayishteh. Wait a second, Jared. I thought you said that vayiktols like to apocopate. I see it of mater lectionis hey. Very good. That tells you that pausal forms trump apocopated forms. So if you have to choose one or the other, pausal wins. Vayishteh. Vayelech, apocopated, vayiktol. B'choach. What's the absolute lexical word here? If you had to look this up in a dictionary, what would you look up?
It would be Kaf, Vav, He, Het.
Kaf, would you say, what did you say?
Kaf, Vav, Het.
Very good. Kaf, Vav, Het. We don't get to see the Vav here, but there's a cholam reminding us of it. And is this patach part of the structure of the word? No, it's not. It's not part of the pattern of the word. It's just simply a dialectic issue. It's hard to pronounce without your mouth in the ah position. So instead of saying b'chol, it instead throws that furtive patach in b'choach, and it's a Judean dialect issue. But anyway, I digress. The point is, what is the pattern of this word? Well, if I write it this way, you'll probably guess it. It's a kotel, or originally a kutel. See, here's your O, and there's your two shvas. I never would have guessed that. I know, because the vav messes up the pattern of the word. But there are lots of words that show up as simply O like this, and they are originally kotel or kutel forms. They're nouns. Ha'achila, achal is the root. What's the root achal?
Food, is it?
Yeah,
Food to eat.
exactly. Eat or consume. Very good. Achila is called the shem pe'ula. It is the noun describing the action of doing the verb. So this is the act of eating. This eating, the strength of this eating, 40 days and 40 nights until Hal HaElohim, that is Horev, the mountain of God, that is Horev. What is the root Harav?
Is it sword?
Trick question. There are two answers. One has to do with the sword. And
Oh, is it something to do with a Mount Pleasant? It's a pleasant place. It's a Mount Pleasant place.
no, it's desolate. Desolate.
Right.
So even though we think of sword as being a desolating instrument, it's actually two different roots. We have chet 1 and chet 2. Cherev and cherev. Two completely different roots that in Hebrew are spelled the same. This is probably, I believe this is root 2. Hang on, which one is it? Chet 2, which is chorev, and it's a mount of desolation, or a desolating mountain. Has nothing to do with cherev, sword. But hey, if the midrash fits, then go for it. You know, there are plenty of rabbis that'll connect dots that aren't supposed to be connected.
But hang on a second. That definition of Horeb could apply to any desolate hill, and I thought this was a mountain of God, which was
So,
something else.
how is Mount Horeb and Mount Sinai considered to be the same place?
They're
I'm not
not.
sure they are.
No.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm just.
In fact, I'm certain that they're not the same. Remember, Moses went to Mount Sinai first, and then went to Mount Horeb second. So I believe it's two different mountains. But the point, back to William's question, why can't it be both? Why can't it? Sure, there are lots of desolate hills, but this one is called Horeb. Or this is what the native people call this mountain, Horeb.
Isn't a hypothesis?
It's a definite construct, Har Ha Elohim, and then if Horeb, it's a mountain of God. It's a specific, a proper mountain.
Right.
That's right.
This is called apposition, where you have two things that are next to each other, but they say the same thing. Jerry, my barber, the mountain of God, that is Horeb. We could even go so far as to say if Hal HaElohim is definite, and that means Horeb should be a definite proper noun. And we know the story of it from Moses in the wilderness. So that gives us the context of Horeb.
Well, Jared, in Virginia, where you're at, do you have? Because I know in Colorado, I've been skiing on a mountain called Winter Park, but on the one side of the mountain, it's called Winter Park. On the same mountain, on the opposite side, it's called Mary Jane. So, do you have that scenario in Virginia? So we could be talking about the same mountain, but two different sides of it.
Well, yeah, we have lots of those. Like Beit El was originally called Luz. So biblically speaking, there are tons of places that are called by two different names. We get the heap of stones that Jacob calls one thing in Hebrew and Laban calls something else in Aramaic, two names for the same thing.
So are we talking about a description of the same mountain, but one side is more green and the other side's more desolate then, possibly?
No, I don't know that. I just
I,
all I'm
I
talking about is how one thing can have two names, not that half of it is one and half of it is the other.
okay. I was just asking the question based because I believe now we're getting ready to go personal belief that we're getting ready to see him enter into the same cleft of the rock that Moses was hid in is going to be the cave that he's going to be in. My personal belief, though.
Right. We'll have to go back to the story of Chorev in the Torah and derive all the nuances we can get from it, and then apply it to this story in First Kings. Uh, f- uh, five, what, 400, 500 years later or something. Someone, or no, not that would be 1,000, less than 500 years. Well, based on a possibly uh, skewed chronology, but whatever. All right. Let's see. Where are we? Next verse. Who wants to read?
I'll read.
All right. Go ahead, Tuesday.
ויבושם אל המערה, וילן, וילן שם, והנה דבר אדוני אליו, ויאמר לו, מה לך פה, אליהו?
Ooh, now we're getting into the part of the story that we all know so well. Vayavosham el ham'ara, vayalen sham, v'hine dvar Adonai elav, vayomer lo, ma lecha fo Eliyahu. And he came there, he arrived there, el ham'ara, to the cave, vayalen sham, and he lodged or spent the night, from lalin or lalun. V'hine dvar Adonai, and behold the word of the Lord, elav, unto him. What's the verb? We have to supply it. It came or was unto him. Vayomer lo, I guess the word said to him, Ma lecha fo Eliyahu, what to you, what is there to you here, Elijah? What are you doing here? Vayomer kano kineti ladonai Elohei tzvaot ki azvu vritcha bnei Yisrael et mizbechotecha harasu ואת נביאיך הרגו בחרב. ויוותר אני לבדי, ויבקשו את נפשי לקחתה. So this is Elijah's answer to God. What are you doing here? And he said, being zealous or being jealous, I have been jealous for or unto the Lord, the God of hosts, armies, because they have forsaken your covenant, Brit. Who did? Bnei Yisrael. The children of Israel have forsaken your covenant. Et mizbechotecha, your altars, your slaughter places. Harasu, pausal form. They have thrown down, destroyed. Ve'et niviecha, and your prophets. Haregu vecharev. They have killed or slain with the sword. Va'ivater, this is a vayiktol, first common singular, and I am remaining. Ani levadi, I alone by myself. Vayivakshu, and now they are seeking et nafshi, my life. Lekachta, to take her, my life. Woe is me. This is Elijah's answer.
help me, help. It's a long time since I've been connected with you, Jared, and it's a case I'm glad I'm here tonight.
Yeah,
But
it's good to see you. It's probably
the
late where
thing,
you are.
the thing is, right? We're talking about the time of Ahab and Jezebel, yes?
Yes.
And Jezebel was from another country,
Yeah. She was from the
and
north, a
she she
Sidonian princess.
she she promoted the worship of Baal.
Oh, sure.
So therefore, she had a strong influence over Ahab.
Of course. He was
Now
a
then, I can't
pushover.
recall how it was they came to power.
Uh Ahab's descendants were in covenant with the king of, oh gosh, what's his name? Starts with an O. Sidonian king. And so for some time, Israel was married into and had a covenant with the Sidonians. So it was a matter of time. In fact, in extra biblical texts, Ahab is called the son of, can't remember the word, but the name, but that Sidonian king. He is the son of that Sidonian king in extra biblical texts. And you're like, that's not what it says in the Bible. But the point is, they had such a close relationship that it was they were indistinguishable. So yeah, Ahab was an absolute pushover and went along with what his wife and his father-in-law had to say. He,
Right. So this sets the context for the persecution of Elijah.
oh sure, yeah, she's an overbearing, evil woman, and the Bible has no qualm painting her as such.
Yeah, that it's a case that I can understand.
Yeah,
I could understand a little bit of his depression now.
yeah. Elijah feels repressed by this overbearing woman.
Oh, right. Okay.
All right, who wants to read next?
I'll do it.
Please go ahead.
Vayomer ze ve medita. Have I got my iron right there?
That's right.
Medita. Okay. Um, veharav, veharav, vehe, vehar. Lifane Adonai, Yeh, Vahine Adonai, over Var, Varu, Varuach, Gadola, Behezek, Meferech, Harim, Sheber, Sela, ah, Iim,
Yes, Silaim.
Selaim, um, Lif, Lifne Adonai, Lo, um, oh dear, come on. Bera, oh, Vereuach Adonai,
Varuach. Varuach.
um, Va'ahar Harauach Ra'ash Lo Vera'ahish Adonai.
Excellent. Very good. And this part of the story you all may remember, where there's these great phenomena that occur before Elijah, and it keeps saying, "But God wasn't there. But God wasn't there." And then it ultimately comes down to, and then there was a still small voice. I hope we get there. Vayomer, and he said, "Seh," from Yatzah, go forth. Ve'amadta, and you shall stand vehar, on the mountain, lifnei Adonai, before the Lord. Vehine Adonai over, and behold, the Lord is passing by, or will be passing by. Veruach gedolah, and a great wind. the chazak and strong, mifarek, tearing to pieces, harim, mountains, umishaber slaim, and shattering um,
Rocks.
no, big rocks. What's big rocks?
Boulders.
Boulders. Yeah, boulders. Lifnei, lifnei Adonai, before the Lord. Lo varuach Adonai, not in the wind was the Lord. Va'achar haruach ra'ash, and after the wind, an earthquake. Lo vara'ash Adonai, the Lord was not in the earthquake. So these great things are happening, but God is not in them.
So the ruah. So ruah can be translated as wind or spirit.
Well, wind or breath, and then later on, after the Greeks got involved, it was also translated as spirit. Originally, it was either wind or breath.
So we have here ha ruah and then bet ruah, ba ruah.
Yeah, there's ba ruach, ruach, and ha ruach.
And ha ruah's the wind, and
Yeah.
ba is in.
Ba ruach means in the wind. Beruach means in a wind. So that means a lot right there, that kamatz. Question, ruach, is it masculine or feminine?
Masculine.
It's both.
Trick
What's
question. In the Bible, it shows up as both. The problem here is that it's showing up as both in one verse. Look, ruach gedolah v'chazak.
Yeah.
What?
Feminine.
Look, and look, mifarek continues to modify it, and mishaber continues to modify it. So just by sheer numbers, we have 1, 2, 3 modifiers that are masculine singular, and one of them that's feminine. But then again, remember earlier where they didn't know whether rotem was a hot or a had? So maybe the guy who wrote this section really wasn't good at grammar. I don't know. I see the mistakes here, and I'm wondering what's going on. Okay, so there was a great wind tearing apart the mountains and the stones or the rocks, but God wasn't there. Funny, in the Psalms, it actually talks about how God is in these great catastrophes, but here it says he's not.
No, there's something we're just doing in level D, and it's called parallelism. And it's a case where things are kind of repeated. I can't remember it because it's a whole new standing on ice type thing, slippery. So, is there any form of parallelism in that ruach being repeated the way it is?
Well, yeah, I guess so. When we have Gdolah v'chazakah, that's parallel. Mifarek harim mishaber silaim, that's parallel. We get to see little snippets of parallelism, but we don't get to see entire. Not called tropes. What is it called? No, synopes. I forget the parts of a poem. You know, you have one line and then another parallel line.
Is it synonymous or something? Synonymous.
Well, there are tons of types of parallelism. There's synonymous, where you say the same thing twice using different words. There's antithetical, where you say one thing, then you say it's opposite. It's still true, but it's opposite. Like, he is great, he is not small. Those are opposites, antithetical. And there's stair step, which is staircase, which is the most boring, where you just say the same thing twice with a new word after each one. The Lord God, he is great. The Lord God, he is wonderful. It's like, okay, that's not terribly impressive to me, literarily, as far as literature goes, but you know, it exists in the Bible, so let's put a label on it. My favorite.
Well, I suppose what the difference here? This isn't poetry. This is like a prose type thing.
But here's the thing. This is what I wanted to finally get back to, is that the oldest forms of biblical Hebrew are poetic. it's like the language was originally poetic and then it devolved from that poetic state. And then later on, we pick the poeticism or the poetic style back up when we get to poetic parts of the Bible, like the Psalms. But yeah, the oldest parts of the Bible, like the blessing of the 12 tribes, the Song of the Sea, uh, uh, A- uh, Jacob blessing his sons. That's different than when Moses blesses the 12 tribes. Hannah's song, Deborah's song, Miriam's, oh, what was it? Not Miriam's song, but the not Song of the Sea. It was different. But anyway, all of these extremely old, archaic parts of the Bible, they're all parallel. They all have poetic parallelism.
Right.
Even extra biblical texts like the Ugaritic, oh gosh, what is it called? The Baal cycle, the Ugaritic Baal cycle. It is parallel after parallel after parallel. And I wonder if it was a matter of necessity. Without vowels, it's very hard to nail down what a particular word or sentence is. But if you have it in parallel, it helps you nail down what it is they're trying to say. So whether it's a victory text from Sennacherib, whether it's the Baal cycle of the Ugarites, whether it's tax receipts in the Ugaritic library. There's just parallelism everywhere, and the oldest forms of biblical Hebrew too. So, just to complete, there's one more form of parallelism. It's my favorite. It's called Janus parallelism. Janus. Does anyone remember the Roman god Janus? It's the god after which January is named.
It looks both ways.
Yeah, two
Yeah,
faces.
exactly. There's an old head looking this way and a young head looking this way at the same time. Okay, so it's connecting the previous year with the following year, January. It's connecting the previous thing with the following thing. How does it work in Janus poetry? It uses one word that has multiple meanings, and the first part of the verse plays on the first definition, and the second part of the verse plays on the second definition. It's amazing to catch, but we miss it so often in biblical Hebrew. But it does exist. It's in Isaiah. It's in what is that? Harim. Is it the Psalms? Maybe it does. There aren't very many examples of it, but they do exist. They do exist. Look up Janus parallelism. It's the least common but most exciting form of parallelism. Too bad that it's named after a false deity, but that is what it is.
Well, the thing is that you think you're getting on top of Hebrew, and then all of a sudden they throw a curveball at you. And I suppose I've got the opportunity to ask, but in the description of the parallelism, it just uses A, B, C, and that A, B, C could be in several different orders. All right. And this is how you can identify from one part to another whether you're in a different kind of parallelism. And my question is, does the cantillation marks help you in separating this up?
Oh, sure. Yeah. When we say things like A, B, C, those are parts of a line of poetry. And if they are parallel in some way to the next line, we call them A prime, B prime, C prime. So if we say God is great, the Lord, the Lord has been mighty. Okay, so these two lines are basically saying the same thing. So from a macro perspective, this is synonymous parallelism. Parallelism. We're saying the same thing twice using different words. But what exactly is parallel among them? Well, God and the Lord, they are parallel. Verb is, has been. Great, mighty, those are parallels. All right, we could do the same thing with antithetical parallelism, where a positive thing corresponds to a negative thing, but ultimately they're saying the same message just in two different ways. Janus parallelism is going to be a lot harder because you have something like A, B, A prime, where the A prime points to the B and the A points to the B at the same time. Stair step is the boring one. That would be like A, B, C, A, B, D. You're adding something new each time with a repetition. What was your original question, William?
Well, it was just the fact that there was three forms of the same word, slightly different, a form of parallelism, and it was a case that out of that, it comes my question that likes of this section A, B, C. So that's on the start of the clause, maybe to the etnata, and then from
Yes,
the
yes, that
etnata
was
to
your
the salute.
question. That was your question. How can I tell? How can I break this up? You looking at the cancellation marks? Yes, absolutely. If you have a parallelism that's broken into two parts, you very much expect a disjuncting cantillation mark like an etnach to show up at the halfway point. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you'll get A, B, C, A prime, B prime, C prime, A prime prime, B prime prime, C prime prime, and you can actually have you can have a triplet of synonymous parallelism. So how will the cantillation marks be then? Well, you're still going to expect two very disjuncting cantillation marks, but you're not going to have two etnach. You're not going to have two etnachtas, two etnachs. So definitely look for those disjuncting cantillation marks to break one line of poetry from the next. Absolutely, yes.
Okay, it's just in case I feel as if I'm standing on a whole a whole bunch of ball of bearings. I was kind of confident. Now I'm not so confident.
Look, it's Hebrew is like a fractal. It's beautiful when you look at it, but the more you zoom in, the more you realize that there's chaos and beauty mixed together.
I quite agree with you. It's fascinating.
The more you zoom in, the more frustrating, but the more beautiful it is. So good on everyone who continues to chase after Hebrew and the Hebrew language.
So, Jared,
Yeah.
is the book of Jubilee, was it originally written in biblical Hebrew too?
Ooh, okay, so I wasn't there. I don't know 100% which one it is, but I do know that Jubilees represents the interpretations of a certain sect of Judaism that arose during the Hellenistic period. So just by statistical probability, it was probably written in Greek. However, its origins would have come from interpretations that arose from Hebrew. So, I mean, it's a toss up. The only versions that we have of Jubilees are Greek and then its translations. So that's a tough question. I don't have a good answer.
I just enjoy the book so much, and with everything you were just describing here right now about the poetry of it and the songs like when um not Leah, when Moses
Miriam?
Miriam says her song after the Red Sea crossing, and I'm just wondering, is the original, because I've heard it attributed that it too was written by Moses, but I've never heard
Well, I mean, okay. Well, I mean, if you hold an orthodox stance, everything from Genesis 1 all the way to the end of Deuteronomy is written by Moses. If you have an academic, scholastic point of view, you realize that there are parts of the Torah that Moses did not write. Someone must have written it for him, added it later, something, clarification notes. It doesn't make it uninspired. It just means it's a human created document led by the Holy Spirit. So did Moses write it? Well, yes and no. If it was Miriam's song, but then Moses wrote it in the Torah, then it's yes and no. But Jubilees, I really have to I really have to offer a warning about Enoch and Jubilees and Jasher. They are written later. They purport to be written early, but they are written later. They are written between the Tanakh and the New Testament time periods. In fact, part of Enoch was written after the New Testament, but I digress. The point is, you have to be very careful on establishing your doctrine from these pseudepigraphical and intertestamental apocryphal texts, because they arise from interpretations of people who are not biblical.
I can appreciate that, and I agree that the canon is what I rely on.
Well, having said that, though, I still argue that New Testament and first century Jews read this stuff, and so should we.
I do, and now I can't prove or disprove based on everything you just said. My personal opinion, not Enoch 2 or Enoch 3. My personal opinion is that Enoch actually wrote it, and Noah took it on the ark with him. But that's my personal opinion.
Right,
And
it's speculation. We can't prove it. In fact, the the interpretation in Enoch for Genesis 6 with the Nephilim and the gigantes in the Greek, the giants. There were actually, was it 3 or 4 different interpretations to that passage before Enoch was written. So Enoch is apparently spin-off literature to help interpret Genesis 6, but there are multiple other interpretations that are rarely known because Enoch has taken the limelight. But the point is that somebody came along and offered an interpretation of Genesis 6, and it probably agreed with his sect's interpretation. You have to be very, very careful. The New Testament definitely hooks onto Enoch's hook, line, and sinker, but then later on, rabbinicalism hooked on to a completely different interpretation, that the B'nai Elohim were actually the sons of the leaders and judges of the time, who were like spoiled pastors' kids, who were having their way with all the daughters of men and having uncurbed illicit fornication with all of these people, these women, and creating all of these bastard children. It's a completely different interpretation that most people have never heard before, but it's equally, I would say, either equally possible or even more possible than the Enoch interpretation. But we see New Testament latching on to Enoch, so that's where mainstream interpretation has gone in the world today. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling.
well, Jared.
Well, can I just put a half penny's worth in, right?
Yeah.
If you think of a Victoria sponge cake which is over decorated, and it's a case there's a lot you can get yourself lost in the delta with all sorts of pathways you can follow and everything else. And I've kind of done a lot of reading one way or another, and some of it is just overwhelming. I just can't process it. But what I will say, which is kind of core, and that is the way in which you conduct your life and the wisdom to conduct your life. And it's all about the taste of the cake. And I found that actually knowing all this kind of fills the mind with too much, because what I want is God's help as I go through my day. And this is where the wisdom comes in. The wisdom.
Thank you for saying that. That my sentiment exactly. Think about how Paul in the New Testament is described. He said, your learning has driven you mad. Right? You can go too far, too deep in the rabbit hole. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I am a little bit too much when it comes to Hebrew, but I can just go as deep as you want. But if it's not edifying, then why? You know,
Well,
it needs to be
Well,
edifying.
I tell you, it's a case today. I was translating something about young men taking refuge in the scripture. Can't remember the exact quote, but it's a case that certainly, if you were absorbed at this and keeping yourself busy, you keep yourself out of an awful lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And
Jared,
even at my vintage, I'm finding my time is well occupied and absorbed in having a conversation with the scribe who wrote the text.
Yeah.
Boy, does he set me some flippant difficult stuff. And it frustrates me, and I'm getting tired, and I have to go and do something different. But I still keep coming back because I like the relationship where I'm sitting quietly, asking questions, and somehow I get answers. Don't ask me how it happens, I get an answer, right? Even by sharing this tonight with you, I have got answers. But the thing is, the desire is there to sit and listen to, shall we say, the Holy Spirit say about the same thing.
Yeah. Amen. Hallelujah.
it's our supper's ready, but I want to say so much. I am so glad to see you back, and
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. It's good to be back.
look forward to talking to you next week.
Yeah. Hopefully over these next several weeks I'll become more and more myself again. Right now this path of recovery has just been like Alice in Wonderland. So it's been surreal. Please continue to pray your righteous prayers for healing. Um, but thank you all so much. It's dinner time here too, so I think I'd like to go ahead and close out. Tim, you had your hand up for a long time. Did you get to hear an answer to your question?
Well, welcome back.
Thanks.
Sorry for joining the party late today, but I was just going to point out that there is I don't know if you're familiar with Yonatan Rassel. He's an Orthodox Yiddish Jew in Israel. He sings using this phrase. Um,
The whole Razazel
uh,
family sings.
yeah, yeah. So uh, starting here, oops. Um, he doesn't use Adonai, but Over Barak Gadolah. He's talking about this word is particularly important to me because um, the spirit passes by. The spirit either passes by or it passes through, and each one has a specific consequence. And in this particular song, it's in Hebrew, but um, he's having a conversation in Yiddish with a survivor of Auschwitz. And he's basically saying that the greatest thing you can do in the spirit is to do something kind for someone else. And this is how this Auschwitz survivor survived by these people coming in every single day. He would at night try to uplift them in some way in their spirit. And this particular word is appropriate in this sense because over is to pass by and not through. So the spirit didn't pass through, but these two people, two separate spirits, did pass by, and he actually caught a hold of them and lifted them up. And this was the greatest thing he could do in his life.
Ah,
But
amen.
it also follows parallelisms that you were speaking about also. But I don't remember the word that the Bible uses of passing through, but you actually want the Spirit of God to pass through you and not by you. When in the New Testament, we very seldom use New Testament references, but in John, when the Pharisees came to basically come after Yeshua, he passed by them. He didn't pass through them to escape, he passed by them. But when he's with his disciple, he passes through them. Very interesting.
I've thought about this passage for a long time, and Elijah was very afraid, and God put him into a safe place, and
Yes.
to be surrounded by these terrifying incidents of boulders and earthquakes and all sorts of things, right? And Elijah is here. It's almost like he's on a theme park ride, and he's going through this experience. And it's a case that I looked at this, that God is strengthening his inner core. He's strengthening his inner core for what it is that he's going to have to do. The transformation that takes place from Elijah after this point is remarkable. That something passed him by, but he was untouched. He had no reason to be afraid because God was with him.
Thank you all so much for coming this evening and sharing and learning and reading Hebrew. I look forward to seeing you all next week, Lord willing. If anyone wants to support Hungry for Hebrew, I would be very, very blessed. And otherwise, I look forward to seeing you all next week. Lehitraot v'shalom.
One more
Shalom.
thing, Jared. I'm going to send you a private message. I have to schedule some time with you. I have a final coming up, and it's much larger than anticipated.
I'll be happy to help. All right.
Thank you.
See you all later. Lehitraot. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.